The US-China trade war escalates. I'm going to give you a brief update coming right up. Hello, my name is Vin of internationalvin.com. So just today, China announced retaliatory tariffs of 84% on US goods coming into China, and the United States announced 104% total tariffs on Chinese goods coming into the US. So I'll break it down real quick with you today, and I'll tell you what it means. Essentially, we're going to be at a stalemate going forward because it's going to be tough for the US and China to negotiate anything at this point. The tariffs are too high on both sides, and it's going to curtail trade activity. For example, if you're an importer such as Costco, Walmart, Best Buy, or even smaller importers, you're going to be hit very, very hard with Chinese tariffs. It's going to be cost prohibitive for you to buy any goods from China going forward. It's going to be, the prices are going to double, and there's no reason to buy products that have doubled, and then you bring them back to the United States, and then you're going to try to sell them at double the price. So it doesn't really make sense, and it's going to be too expensive to do that. And what that means is the American consumers are going to pay more for Chinese-made goods for essentially everything. If you look at your home, everything from your computer to your furniture to small items to toys to clothing, etc., they've all been made mostly in China, and a lot of it in Vietnam or other Southeast Asian countries. But China makes the most things, including LED lights and lamps and things like that. So we're going to see, unfortunately, a skyrocket in prices when it comes to Chinese-made goods. And then the demand is going to go down too because, frankly, Americans aren't going to be paying more for higher prices. So the demand is not going to be there. And so that's not a good thing. And then on the flip side, with the 84% Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods, that's going to hurt the Midwest American farmers especially hard. For example, soybean, corn, tractors, and services that we export to China is going to take a huge hit. And that's a big problem because a lot of these Chinese buyers are now going to move on to other countries such as Brazil or other countries in South America to fill in those products that they often buy from the United States. So the US-China trade war is now at a point where, it's pretty much not going to be existent any further moving ahead now because, again, there's going to be slowdown in economic activity. So just to summarize, the importer and the American consumers are the ones that pay for these tariffs, not the foreign countries or foreign companies. How do I know that? Because I work for a customs brokerage and we do the paperwork for many companies that import their products and goods. And I've also been an importer, so I've been on the other side too. I've imported products from China and Vietnam. And so when the product comes to the port of Los Angeles, there's a duty that needs to be paid on the value of the goods. So if a container is 10,000 US dollars, and now if the duty has increased, the tariff has increased 25% from any of these countries, then I've got to pay an additional amount on top of that 10,000 US dollars to CBP, Customs and Border Protection, which is part of Homeland Security, which is also part of US Treasury. So the check has to go out to the US government, and then the goods are released, and then I can bring them to the warehouse, and then I turn around and I can sell them online or to other businesses or whatnot, what I plan to do. But to make up that loss, I have to charge more, and that hits the American consumers. So it doesn't look good going forward here. China has been an important country in U.S. trade in the last 30, 40 years, and they've made so many products for we American consumers that we can enjoy every day in our lives, from watches to electronics to cameras and anything like that. Everything, pretty much. Take a look around your living room and tell me what is not made in China these days. So where do we go from here? It doesn't look good. It's a wait and see, and it'll be interesting to see what ultimately happens. All right, that's it for now. I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you very much.